I was working on my upper body form to go with my Texas two-step. And I might have hit a little snag. So what do you do if proper form doesn't work for you? Or that form has to be modified? Stick around as we dive into this one and try to figure it out. All right, quick disclaimer. If you're one of those who like to jump in and see that there's chapters and go to the throwing, just saying, be careful with the comments and the ideas and suggestions, because we're going to know if you saw the backstory. Good luck. Welcome to Fireman Up Disc Golf. Chief here, and for some of you, welcome back. We are out here on the side yard close to the house because you can see it's pretty cloudy outside. It's been sprinkling a little bit, so just in case it starts raining, I can pile everything in the garage real quick. Also, look there, got my net. Yes, I got it for my birthday, and I've only been able to throw into it once or twice. Haven't had a whole lot of time because I've been playing some courses. Had a local league tournament yesterday, and I actually for the first time took the camera with me during the league play and got some recordings of that. So hopefully I'll get that out here this week so y'all can see a little bit of the journey and going through the league play. If you aren't a part of a local disc golf league, make sure you go and check them out. Man, I have learned so much from playing with the guys and everything, especially those guys. Like they always say, play with the ones that are better than you. It'll make you better. I just feel like I've progressed a lot faster with that. On the no X step video a few videos back, y'all had a lot of great suggestion ideas on what I could work on. Saying that I was rounding, so I was coming here and trying to go through. I was coming here and trying to go through instead of coming out this way and coming through. So I was going to work on some of that. Really, I am an old dude, but I still have a little bit of flexibility, but to maybe work on getting that torso to twist a little more, and maybe that's even getting the left arm. Y'all had some suggestions, bring that left arm back, bring it down. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to work on all those things, kind of incorporate some of those and work on them one at a time. But then I came across what I call a snag. So being a beginner to disc golf and having a little bit of time in the evenings, I was pretty much throwing every day. Now, other than the occasional soreness just from, everyday throwing, that soreness didn't last. If I stretched out in the mornings and stuff, I wasn't sore. When I'd go play again, I wasn't sore. So the soreness didn't last, so I knew that my body was keeping up with what I was doing. So I started working on some of those suggestions we talked about. When I got to the point of working on the roundness, getting in an athletic position, so I'm already into my two-step, I'm already planted. Getting in that athletic position, I thought, you know what, I'm going to bend over just a little bit because usually, that dictates how you come through. If you want it on a little bit of hyzer and working on a hyzer flip and all that other stuff. So I bent over, turned my torso, and I came through. Now I'm bent over. I came through and I'm like, everything's great. And when I got right here, hard pain. I can actually feel it a little bit right there. But see how I'm athletic position? I'm not doing proper form at the moment, but I'm just trying to demonstrate. When I got to right here, man, it was just pain. So I thought, man, that hurt. And at first I thought I actually tore something. I mean, I actually stood there for about a minute or two and just held my shoulder, rubbed it a little bit. I thought, man, that's not good. So I stood back straight up and I wanted to see if I messed up my shoulder. So I was standing straight up because I don't usually have pain standing straight up. And I did one of these. Lo and behold, I didn't have any pain. So basically what I chalked it up for was soreness. I thought, well, maybe I'm throwing a lot. Well, I was fixing to go on vacation, and I knew that I'd give my arm a little bit of rest because other than playing a few courses up there or doing the one trail review, I knew I wasn't going to throw a whole lot. So I thought, okay, well, I'll give it a rest. So fast forward a little bit. I went on vacation, threw a little bit, did the trail review, and then I wound up getting sick, like y'all heard in the last video. So I didn't throw for about 10 days. So I thought, oh, this is great. I gave my arm a lot of good rest. I'm excited about it. So I got back out to my next throwing session once I got a little bit of energy. I warmed up, did my stretches. I have a resistance band. I do my stretches. So I get back out there. I'm at the course there at First Choice that I always go to in Decatur and throw off the tee. So I was doing my standstills just to warm up. I warmed up with my standstills, and then I thought, you know what? I'm going to try it again. So I got in my athletic position. I bent over. I did my reach back. I came through. Oh man, severe pain again. And I was like, Dad gummit, what is the heck is going on? So I sat there again for 2 or 3 minutes, maybe even longer. And I was like, man, I had just given my arm that much rest, hadn't thrown in a long time. What is the deal? So I thought, I'm going to try it again. I'm not going to try the athletic position bent over. I'm going to try straight up. So I got my spot, and lo and behold, it didn't hurt. No soreness, nothing, no pain. And I'm like, I have to figure this out. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to try to break down what is causing that shoulder pain when being in that athletic position, bent over in that athletic spot. A little backstory, long story short, this is as straight as my arm will go. I know some of y'all probably noticed it, haven't said anything. Some of y'all think I just have big, huge forearms. No, I actually had a farming accident when I was 4 years old, and that's my bicep. That's as straight as my arm will go. If you know me and you've seen my videos, I don't talk about my arm because I don't use it as an excuse. It's been my arm my whole life. It's been like this since I was 4. To me, it was a regular arm, and I've always used it as a regular arm. I played 13 years of baseball, God knows how many years of softball, and I was a firefighter for almost 30 years. So to me, it's always been a regular arm. Even though my family was told many a times I would never use my arm again, I was pretty fortunate. Now, if you're interested in that story, let me know. I'll tell you the whole story in another video, but we're not going to go through it right now. But the biggest thing is I can't straighten my arm, which in a cool way is basically I have the power pocket right there. And I basically don't even have to bend my arm. So that's cool. So there's an advantage. The power pocket's right there. But I think this is where, again, I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to work in the process, trying to keep proper form. Now I've got to figure out what's causing the shoulder pain and what I can do to adjust, modify, or have to go a different route. Also, along with the fact that I'm not a spring chicken anymore. There's a lot of us who are getting up there in ages. We were very athletic when we were growing up, played many sports, or, worked pretty hard manual jobs. A lot of us have that soreness in our arms, our shoulders, our knees, our hips, we've had surgeries and things like that, or we've had chronic pain, persistent pain. I'm fortunate that other than having a crooked arm, the only pain I get sometimes is in my shoulders, but I think that was baseball. I think many of us fall into 4, I'm going to call them areas. I don't like categories. I think categories kind of put you in a box. I don't want to put anybody in a box, so I'm going to say areas. These aren't in any particular order, but the first area that I like to kind of look at is maybe you need more days off. That's something to look at. Maybe instead of playing every day, maybe you have to play 3 or 4 days. Maybe you can only play 1 or 2 days a week because it just takes you longer to recover, but you need those days off, and you got to listen to your body. And a lot of people fall into that general area, giving themselves more rest, more days off. Second general area is the ones who just play through pain. There might be a little bit of soreness and they just play through it. Their knee might bother them a little bit, so they just play through it, and they just know that that's something that's been bothering them for 20 or 30 years. More of a chronic pain. They've had it for a long time. and they just play through the pain. Maybe it's a lower back, and maybe you can't just twist as much, so you just twist a little bit, but you don't have that problem. Might wake up the next day a little bit sore, but you just kind of play through it. I think that could also be one of the most dangerous areas, because I think you need to know where that soreness is coming from or how it's getting sore. And I'm not a doctor, but you got to be careful that you don't create more of a problem, more of an injury. But usually when you've had that soreness or that pain for, especially for a couple of years or more, you already know what your limit is and how far you can push it and stuff. But just make sure you get it checked out with a doctor if it's persistent and you're not sure exactly where the pain's coming from. The third area is usually those that, they have so much pain playing disc golf. Usually it's going to be your three bigger areas for disc golf: the shoulders, the knees, and the back. You can't get that torso twist. Your shoulders are really hurting, knees are hurting. That's going to cause some people to say, look, I'm not going to play disc golf. That just hurts too much. So they'll wind up doing another sport, something to that effect. But, you hate to see it, because one of the biggest things I like doing is growing the sport. But there's just some people that just can't play it. And the fourth area, which I am going to work on today a little bit, is modifying the form. Modifying the form to eliminate or at least reduce any type of pain or soreness, but still keeping a form that is comfortable to me. Now, I think the form can drop into two areas when you're trying to modify it. One, you're not into the form process or anything. You're just trying to throw to the point where it's comfortable. What that looks like, you don't care. And a lot of people are going to fall in that category. This is a recreational sport. As long as they stay out of pain, they're going to throw it the way they want to throw it. Great for them. And if they're having fun, that's the main focus. Me and the process that I'm going to look at, because I'm trying to take it a little bit further. Who knows? Maybe I turned 58 last week. Maybe when I turn 60 in a couple of years, I'll start pushing to see how far I can go up through the tournament ranks and stuff. I don't know yet. It's just something I'm looking at. I'm having so much fun with it. I'm playing a lot of league tournaments. Haven't played any sanctioned tournaments yet. It's on my mind, though. I'm thinking about it. But mine is going to be more of I want to keep that same process, that same form that everybody talks about, but I want to have to adapt it to get rid of that pain or that soreness. Since my arm won't go straight, awesome power pocket. Where is the problem at? So if I come back and I come through to the chest, try not to round. When I come out, I think there's the spot. That's about where my arm goes. So if I'm bent over, my arm has nowhere else to go unless I rotate the shoulder. So my arm comes to a dead stop right there. Now, I always knew I didn't, even when I started, because I even tried one time left-handed. I'm like, no, I'm right-handed. I'm going to throw it right-handed. Again, I'm not going to use excuses for my right arm. One thing I always knew, though, when I started, I wasn't going to have a whip, because my arm will only go to there. So when I'm standing straight, my arm, so if I throw the disc out, my arm and my shoulder can go up and relieve that, because I can't come around, because my arm, for example, if you look at my left I can bring back here. I can bring it back here. My right, I can only bring it right there. As far back as my right will go. I can't bring it back towards the camera anymore. I knew that limitation, but I still could get the rotation. I mean, this little disc right here I just picked up the other day. Another thing I shouldn't have thrown in the tournament. I had only had this for 3 or 4 days, and I threw it in the tournament 4 times thinking I'd trust it, and those were probably my 4 worst holes. Check that one out in about 3 or 4 days. I'll put that one out, but yeah, I shouldn't have gone with this disc. I thought it would be a good idea today to throw some in the net, have some of y'all look at it, and see what ideas y'all might have as far as what I can do with this shoulder, if I need to do anything with it, or some way how it can relieve or maybe I can do a different modification that allow me not to rotate the shoulder out as much. I think it's just something I'm just gonna have to play with, but never hurt to get any suggestions or ideas. So let's get a few little throws in. I'm not going to get too crazy on the, matter of fact, I'm just going to stand still instead of doing my Texas two-step. In summary, for some of y'all who don't know the Texas two-step, you can go back to the X-step video, but also basically it's just a 1, 2 throw. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just stand still on this one. And then I'm just going to make a few throws, and then I'll give you an idea. Okay. So pouring coffee, elbow up, automatic brace. Gotta love it. Love that crooked arm. All right, so then there's the throw. Now, I'm not going to throw real hard because I'm just trying to give y'all an idea if some of y'all want to pick that form. And then I did forget my style is like most people talk, just there. So like your fingers would be there, but then you just tuck them under. And then I usually put my thumb out. Depending on the disc, I'll put it out further or closer. This one is about mid. All right. Let's do a couple more. Oh, pouring coffee, elbow up. Pouring coffee, elbow up. See, I'm doing the finger thing. I always put it there and then tuck it in. Pouring coffee, elbow up. That felt more like a round, so I need to try to bring it in a little bit more. So I can be straight up, but I have to kind of tilt forward. Pouring coffee, elbow up. Tilting forward was almost a little bit of shoulder pain, so I have to watch that. So I'm almost really going to have to stand straight up. Man, that's even right there. Even right there. It's like my shoulder can't go anywhere. Whereas if I'm straight up, it can bail out. So any suggestions, let me know. Because I don't like that pain. All right. But see right here, that's no pain. I think that's just where my throw is going to be. Do a couple more. Pouring coffee. Elbow up. Good old small town Texas. Got to have a train coming through. Pouring coffee. Elbow up. Hopefully y'all getting an idea of the throws. Y'all can slow it down if you need to. That one didn't feel good at all. That one I think would have been nose up and Lord knows where. Pouring coffee. Elbow up. That one felt better. All right, let's do a few more and we'll change the angle. I don't feel like I'm bringing it in close enough to the chest, but again, it's uncomfortable a little bit. But then again, sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone to improve on something. So I'll keep working on that. It's feeling good. I just gotta remember, don't look up too soon. Stay focused. Don't bend, almost bend over. As soon as I bend over, it starts hurting. That one wasn't bad, but I think I think I reached too hard back. I think I did one of these instead of one of those. Let's try it again. Oh yeah, that felt better. Those are feeling good. Yeah, man, would it be nice to? Yeah, it's not gonna happen because this feels so much better. We'll get a straight on view. Pouring coffee, elbow up. Pouring coffee, Like how, sorry, I probably shouldn't say it out loud, but it's just a good reminder. Pouring coffee, elbow up. Pouring coffee, elbow up. I'm going to see if I can get it across my chest a little better. A little slower. Oh, and the brown grass, that's just Texas summer. It's not winter. The fun thing about small town Texas is you spend all the money on getting your grass to grow during the spring, putting all this stuff on it, and of course natural stuff, not any bad chemicals. And you get into June and July and you're under water restrictions and you can't water it, so there goes all the money you spent in March. So I've pretty much given up on that. All right, back to throwing, sorry. All right, try to go slow again. Pouring coffee, elbow up, bring it into the chest. Do another slow one, then we'll speed it up a little bit. Pouring coffee, elbow up, and tight. Pouring coffee, elbow up. See, my problem is I feel like when I'm speeding it up, it's more out here, you know, and that's the comfortability of my arm too. It's almost like instead of coming all the way in here and out, it's comfortable in my arm to come here. And I know that's part of rounding, but I don't know. Again, suggestions, ideas, I'd be glad to try to work on, because man, I'm having so much fun with disc golf. I want to keep improving. Elbow. Oh man, that was almost had snap on that one, but that almost missed the net. I got to make sure that I'm focusing down. Pouring coffee. Elbow up. Oh, that felt good. That felt good. Pouring coffee. Felt it. I didn't get the snap sound, but I felt it come rip out of my fingers, so that was good. Hopefully this view is working for some of y'all. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this section, guys. I appreciate y'all coming along in the practice. Hopefully y'all liked that and there was some things that y'all can take away from it. Also, if you have any ideas or suggestions you would like to give me on working on that form, especially with that crooked arm, again, I'm not using it as an excuse, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out how can I modify the process to come up with my form to be the best player that I can be with that form. So I'm having fun. It's a lot of fun. I appreciate all the support. And if you made it this far, you might as well like and subscribe. Guys, we'll see you on the next one. Hopefully we got a couple of practice ones coming out that you'll see how I do practice on some of the courses, especially on the first choice course. And hopefully I got one coming out soon in the next few days. It'll be on the tournament I just played. Didn't do too bad. Still got some things to work on, mainly disc selection. I got to be careful on disc selection, and I got to remember tee box geometry. So those will be coming up soon, so hopefully you'll stick around and see some of those. And like I always say, make a great day.